Chosen one. Stop for a moment. This is not an accident. The scrolling, the noise, the distractions of the world, all of it has paused so that you could hear this. Heaven has orchestrated this very moment to whisper directly into your spirit. From your earliest days, you sensed it. You never quite fit in. You were different. You carried a weight that others couldn't understand. And because of that, the battles you faced have been heavier than most. But listen, your pain was never punishment. It was preparation. Imagine a bow being pulled back. The tension grows. The string stretches. And it feels like delay. But that pressure isn't the end, it's the setup. The arrow cannot be launched forward without first being pulled backward. Your setbacks have been the pull. Your waiting season has been the tension. And now, the release is near. It is written in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 12. The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty, to send rain in season, and to bless all the work of your hands. Take this in. The same God who opens the heavens has promised that your season of drought will end. Your land, your efforts, your prayers, your hidden tears will be watered. The work of your hands, once overlooked, is about to be blessed in ways that defy explanation. Think back to those nights when silence wrapped around you like a heavy cloak. You thought no one saw. You thought no one cared. But heaven was watching. Every tear was counted, like drops of rain sinking into the soil. None of it was wasted. A hidden harvest has been forming beneath the surface, and it is about to break through. The truth is, you have terrified darkness. That's why the storm has raged so violently against you. If you were ordinary, the attacks would not have been this fierce. But because you are carrying a light that threatens the shadows, resistance has been relentless. Yet, here you stand. And the very fact that you're still standing is proof of the strength God placed in you. Picture this, a torchbearer walking through the night. The flame in their hand lights not only their own steps, but also the path for those behind them. That's who you are. Your struggles were never just for you. They were shaping you into a guide for others. So don't minimize this moment. This is holy. Heaven does not waste words. The world may have tried to label you broken, forgotten, unworthy, but God calls you chosen, and when He speaks a name over you, no other voice can cancel it. This is your reminder to rise again, to dream again, to step into the truth of who you are, one of God's chosen ones. Before we move forward, act on this, not for me, but as a prophetic sign that you're receiving what heaven is releasing. Hit like, share this with someone who needs it, and subscribe so you don't miss the next word that may shift your life. And right now, comment the number 111 below. That number is a sign of divine alignment, that your season of waiting is turning into a season of release. You are not buried. You are planted, and your time to rise is here. But let me tell you something deeper. Chosen one, your life has never been random. Every detour, every delay, every no you've heard was actually heaven's redirection. Sometimes God closes doors, not because you are unworthy, but because He refuses to let you settle for less than His best. And right now, He is positioning you for something so much bigger than you imagined. Think of the seed again. When it breaks open in the soil, it doesn't complain about the darkness. It simply stretches toward the unseen light, trusting that the sun will come. That's where you are. You are stretching. You are breaking through. You are reaching for a light that is already waiting to meet you. Your breakthrough is not coming. Someday it is already in motion. And soon, those who doubted you will see. Those who dismissed you will witness the hand of God on your life. You will not need to prove yourself. The evidence will be undeniable. When God exalts, no one can silence it. When heaven releases favor, even enemies will be forced to recognize it. So stand firm. Keep your faith alive. This is not the end of your story. It is the threshold of a new beginning. The chapter that's opening before you will shock you with its glory. From the beginning, you have carried marks of separation. You didn't choose them, yet they followed you. They appeared in the lonely nights when no one seemed to understand your heart. They showed up in the seasons when you were excluded, overlooked, or rejected. What others saw as weakness was in fact evidence of your calling. Think of Joseph, the son who dreamed too vividly. His brothers could not tolerate the vision God placed inside of him. They stripped him of his robe and threw him into a pit, thinking they had silenced him forever. But in truth, they only pushed him closer to his destiny. What looked like betrayal was the doorway to his appointment with kings. You, too, have walked through betrayal. You have tasted rejection. And yet, each experience has been a stepping stone toward your throne. Sometimes, being chosen means being misunderstood. When you shine, those who prefer the shadows feel threatened. Like David tending sheep in the hidden fields, you were overlooked when others were chosen first. They thought you unqualified, invisible, too insignificant to matter. But God saw what they could not. While others judged the outward appearance, heaven measured the heart. And what heaven saw in you was worth marking, protecting, and separating. There is a pain that only chosen ones know. It is the pain of not belonging, the pain of carrying more than you can explain. It is like walking with a crown no one else can see. And because they don't see it, they criticize what they cannot understand. But even when they didn't see the crown, it was still resting on your head. Your story is proof that separation is not punishment, but preparation. Look at Moses, drawn out of the Nile as an infant. He was raised in Pharaoh's palace, yet never truly belonged there. He fled into the wilderness, cut off from what he knew. But it was in that wilderness that he heard the voice from the burning bush. The separation was the setup for revelation. Likewise, your wilderness, your lonely seasons, your closed doors have all been the space where God was preparing to speak. Think of a blacksmith forging a weapon. The fire is fierce. The hammer strikes hard, and the metal groans under the weight of it. But each strike is forming strength. Each moment in the fire is shaping the blade into something unbreakable. That is what your trials have been. You have been in the fire, but not to destroy you, only to refine you. The Word of God declares through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5, "Before I formed you, in the womb I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart, appointed you as prophet." These words echo through time to remind you, your calling predates your pain. You were known before you were born. Your life is not the product of accident, but of divine appointment. And every scar you carry is not a mark of failure, but a testimony of your survival. When you reflect on your past, don't despise the chapters that broke you. Every rejection was a redirection. Every delay was a divine detour. Every hidden season was a womb, not a tomb. And just as a child grows unseen before being revealed, your purpose has been growing in the secret place, waiting for its appointed time. There's a story often left untold about chosen ones, the long silence between the promise and its fulfillment, like Hannah, who prayed for years for the child she longed for. Her waiting was bitter, her prayers full of tears. Yet, at the right moment, God opened her womb, and Samuel was born a prophet who would shape nations. What if Hannah had given up in the waiting? What if Joseph had cursed God in prison? What if David had abandoned the sheep and refused the lonely fields? Chosen one, your waiting is not wasted. It is training ground. It is evidence that you are marked for more. Perhaps you've wondered why friendships dissolved, why certain people walked away. Consider this: some people could not go where you are going. Some connections were never meant to carry the weight of your destiny. The pruning was painful, but it was also protection. You are not being reduced, you are being refined. This is why your journey has never looked like anyone else's. Others may run ahead. Others may rise quickly, but your story was never meant to be rushed. The longer the preparation, the greater the unveiling. And when God finally reveals what He has been shaping in you, it will be worth every tear, every sleepless night, every moment you felt unseen. So remember this truth: you were marked before you even understood it. Marked not by rejection, but by purpose. Marked not by shame, but by destiny. Marked not for obscurity, but for revelation. Your separation has always been the sign. And soon, the very things that made you feel different will become the reasons you are lifted. You've wondered why the battle around your life has been so fierce, why the storms keep circling, why the resistance has been unrelenting. The truth is simple: the enemy only wars against what threatens him, and you, chosen one, are a threat. When light enters a room, darkness has no choice but to flee. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't argue. It simply disappears. That is what your presence does. Even when you say nothing, even when you feel weak, your light unsettles the shadows. That's why certain people could not stay close to you. That's why environments that once felt comfortable became unbearable. You were never meant to settle in darkness. Think of Daniel in Babylon, surrounded by compromise, surrounded by pressure to bow. Yet he stood firm. Lions were released against him, but even the beasts of the night recognized the mark of God on his life. The war against Daniel wasn't about him, it was about silencing the voice of God through him. And the same is true for you. Your battle is not personal, it's spiritual. Scripture reveals in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12 declare, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." Oh, this is why ordinary weapons could never explain your fight. It's not just about finances, relationships, or emotions. Beneath the surface, there is a clash between kingdoms. Your spirit is a spark of heaven, and hell has tried to extinguish it since you were young. But you are still here. That alone is a victory. Imagine yourself as a lighthouse on a stormy coast. Waves crash. Winds howl. The night is relentless, but the light remains. Ships that cannot see anything else fix their course by that single beam. That's you. Your endurance is guiding others, without you even realizing it. The warfare has been a confirmation. If you were insignificant, the darkness wouldn't care. But because you carry destiny, you attract opposition. Do not despise the resistance. It is proof of your value in the eyes of heaven. And here is your prophetic act for this moment. In the comments, write these words: light over darkness. Do it not as a casual phrase, but as a declaration of faith. When you type it, you are aligning yourself with heaven's truth that no matter how heavy the night feels, light will always overcome. You are announcing to every unseen battle that the flame within you cannot be extinguished. This is not merely engagement, it is agreement with God's word that you are more than a conqueror, that His light in you will prevail. So hear this. Chosen one, the war on your life has been proof of your purpose. The fire has not consumed you, it has refined you. The night has not destroyed you, it has revealed your light. And the enemy's greatest mistake was not the attack, it was letting you survive it. Because now, you carry the testimony that terrifies darkness and inspires the weary. But let me take you deeper. Opposition has never been the full story. Every clash has carried within it a hidden gift. Without the weight of battle, you would not have developed the strength to stand. Without resistance, you would not have discovered resilience. The fight, though exhausting, has been the forge that produced unshakable courage. Think about how an eagle trains its young. It stirs the nest, removing the comfort, pushing the eaglet into the open sky. The wind feels cruel at first, the fall terrifying, but without it, the eaglet would never spread its wings. The very storm that threatens becomes the teacher that awakens flight. That has been your journey. And here is the truth. The attacks have already failed. If the enemy's plan was to silence you, he should have stopped you before now. The fact that you are hearing this proves that you are still standing. And more than that, you are rising. What is coming next will not simply be survival, it will be victory. You will carry scars. Yes, but they will shine as marks of testimony. They will not remind you of defeat, but of deliverance. They will become living proof that God was with you all along. So hold fast. The battle has revealed who you are: chosen, refined, unstoppable. And soon, the same fire that tested you will become the light that crowns you. And when you rise, chosen one, heaven will point and say, "This one stood. This one endured. This one overcame." Your victory becomes prophecy for generations, yet unborn. There is a mystery in the way God works with His chosen ones. He often allows them to be shaped in silence, molded in hidden places, before unveiling them to the world. Just as a potter needs the clay, pressing it down, stretching it, folding it again and again. Your life has been on the wheel of divine hands. Every pressure you felt, every season where it seemed you were being crushed, has been part of a careful design. The clay cannot see the potter's plan. It only feels the force of shaping. Yet what looks like chaos to the clay is intention to the potter. In the same way, you have questioned, why this pain, why this delay, why this reshaping again and again? But heaven's answer has been consistent, because you are becoming a vessel worthy of carrying glory. Some vessels are ordinary, but others are reserved for honor. and you were never destined for the ordinary. Consider the story of Gideon. When God first called him, he was hiding in fear, threshing wheat in secret. He saw himself as the least of his family, unfit for greatness. Yet God spoke differently. Mighty warrior, what others, even Gideon himself, could not see, God already declared. Your own self-perception may have been small, clouded by what life told you, but heaven has named you something greater, and the process you endure is shaping you into that truth. We are reminded in the book of Isaiah, chapter 64, verse 8, "Yet you, Lord, are our Father. We are the clay. You are the potter. We are all the work of your hand." This scripture pulls back the curtain on what feels like crushing. The potter is not careless. His hands are steady, deliberate, precise. He knows exactly how much pressure to apply and exactly when to ease his grip. The seasons of breaking you have faced were not designed to ruin you, but to refine you. Like gold in the furnace, your value increases in the fire. Think of diamonds, buried deep beneath the earth, subjected to heat and pressure beyond imagination. Carbon transforms into something unbreakable and radiant. Without pressure, it remains common stone. With pressure, it becomes treasure. The chosen ones often live this transformation. You have not been under pressure because you are weak, but because you are destined to shine in a way others cannot. David understood this. Before he held a crown, he held a harp. Before he ruled in a palace, he wandered in caves. His songs of worship were born out of exile. His courage forged while hiding from spears. The very wilderness that seemed like rejection was where his kingship was birthed. In the same way, your hidden seasons are not wasted, they are wombs, carrying the seed of your future authority. Sometimes, God keeps chosen ones in obscurity because premature exposure would destroy them. A tree cannot bear fruit the day after it is planted. It must send roots deep into the soil. Without depth, the first storm would tear it down. You have been forced to go deeper, to grow unseen, so that when the time of unveiling comes, no storm can uproot you. Even Jesus experienced hiddenness. For 30 years, he lived in Nazareth, unrecognized, uncelebrated, working as a carpenter. Only after decades of silence did his public ministry begin. If the Son of God himself embraced seasons of waiting, why should you be surprised at your own? Your delay is not denial, it is divine timing. There is a paradox in being chosen. You are both hidden and prepared. Hidden, so that the enemy cannot destroy you prematurely. Prepared, so that when your moment arrives, you will be ready to stand unshaken. This is why patience has been demanded of you, not because God forgot you, but because God refuses to reveal you until the fullness of time. Think of Esther, an orphan girl raised in obscurity, suddenly thrust into the palace. She could not have known that her crown would position her to save her people. But every detail of her story, the loss, the adoption, the favor was orchestrated for a single moment. And just as she was told, "You were born for such a time as this," so too will you realize that everything you endured was leading to a divine appointment. Your waiting season has been long, but it has not been wasted. The potter has been molding you. The fire has been purifying you. The pressure has been transforming you. And the hiddenness has been protecting you. Soon, What was prepared in secret will be revealed in glory. Chosen one, you are not unfinished. You are in process, and the process is sacred. There is a crown waiting for you, not the kind fashioned by human hands, but one forged in obedience, a crown of authority, of glory, of destiny fulfilled. Yet this crown does not rest on every head. It rests only on those who yield. Obedience has always been the narrow road for the chosen. Look at Abraham climbing Mount Moriah. The weight of his son Isaac walked beside him, and the heavier weight of surrender burned in his chest. He did not know how the story would end. He only knew the voice of God had spoken. And on that mountain, obedience became the altar that unlocked a covenant still alive today. So often, chosen ones face this same test: to lay down what feels irreplaceable, to trust when the outcome is unclear. The crown is never won through striving, but through surrender. And yet, surrender is not loss. It is the doorway to abundance. The Apostle James affirms in his letter, chapter 1, verse 12, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." Now, the crown of life is not given to those who run half the race, nor to those who quit in the waiting. It is given to those who persevere, those who hold fast to love when love is costly, those who obey when obedience hurts. Imagine a garden at dusk. The soil is dry, the plants drooping. Then rain begins to fall, gentle, steady, unrelenting. Leaves lift, blossoms open, life stirs again. That is what obedience does to your soul. It draws down heaven's rain. It awakens life where there was only dust. Or think of a musician tuning their instrument before the performance. The strings are tightened, stretched, sometimes to the point of breaking. The sound may feel uncomfortable in the moment, yet without that tension, the melody would falter. Obedience is the tuning of your life. It aligns you with heaven's song so that when the moment comes, your sound will be pure, resonant, unstoppable. But obedience is always a choice. No one can force it on you. God does not drag his chosen into surrender. He invites. And in that invitation lies both beauty and responsibility. When you choose to yield, you are not losing your will, you are weaving it into his. This is why your crown awaits. Not because you fought harder than everyone else, but because you learned to bow lower. Not because you demanded a throne, but because you trusted the one who appoints kings and raises the lowly. And now, let me offer you a picture. Imagine a table set in a royal court. On it rests a crown, radiant with light, waiting. No guard blocks it. No chain binds it. Only one thing determines whether it will rest on your head: the step you choose to take. Will you walk toward it? Will you bow first, and then rise to wear it? This, chosen one, is the moment where obedience becomes a love story. Not duty, not fear, but devotion. When you surrender, you are not handing something over to lose it. You are placing it into the safest hands. So here is my gentle invitation. If this word stirs something inside you, respond in a way that is beautiful to you. Perhaps you will press like, not for me, but as if laying a stone on the altar of remembrance. Perhaps you will share, as a symbolic act of scattering seed for others to harvest. Perhaps you will subscribe, not out of obligation, but as a way of staying close to the flow of living words. Think of a candle being lit in a dark hall. One flame passes to another, then another, until the entire room glows. That is what your response becomes, a spark that multiplies into light for others. These are not commands, they are invitations. Each act becomes a quiet echo of obedience, a visible step that reflects your invisible surrender. You are free. Free to ignore. Free to resist. Free to walk away. But you are also free to choose. And in choosing, you declare that your crown will not be left untouched on the table. The story of chosen ones has always been this: surrender first, glory after, death to self, then resurrection to destiny, a bowed head, then a crowned life. The crown awaits you, and soon it will rest where it belongs. There are moments when time itself seems to stop. You feel it now, the sudden stillness, the quiet interruption, as if heaven pressed pause on everything around you just to speak. This is not coincidence. This is not chance. This is divine interruption. A prophetic pause, where eternity leans into your timeline. Chosen one. Pay attention. For much of your life, you've walked through ordinary days, carrying extraordinary weight. But every so often, God interrupts the ordinary with a whisper that shifts everything. He does it not because you asked, but because you are marked. Right now is such a moment. Consider the prophet Habakkuk. He stood at his watchtower, waiting, listening, asking why darkness seemed to prevail. He cried out, "How long, Lord?" And the answer came not with silence, but with vision. Habakkuk's pause became the doorway to revelation. What looked like delay was in fact divine timing. The Spirit speaks through the prophet Habakkuk. Chapter 2, verse 3. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. Let those words settle in you. The vision for your life, the promise you've carried, the prayer you've whispered in tears, it awaits an appointed time. What felt like delay has been alignment. Heaven has not denied you. It has been preparing the hour when everything will converge. Think of a theater. The lights dim. The curtains remain closed. The audience shifts impatiently in their seats. To the untrained eye, nothing is happening. But behind the curtain, the stage is being set. The actors are taking position. The music is ready to rise. When the curtain finally opens, it will look sudden. But in truth, it was carefully orchestrated. That is your life right now. The curtain has not stayed shut to punish you. It has stayed shut because heaven is setting the stage. This pause is not emptiness. It is expectation. Like a pregnant silence before thunder cracks the sky, like the hush before an arrow flies. It feels still. But in that stillness, power gathers. Look at the story of Joshua and the walls of Jericho. God told them to march in silence for 6 days. Imagine that tension circling massive walls with no visible progress. No noisy, no action, only waiting. But the pause was prophetic. On the 7th day, when the trumpet sounded, the walls fell flat. What looked like wasted days of silence were in fact the countdown to breakthrough. And so it is with you. The silence you've endured is not wasted. The waiting you've carried is not meaningless. You have been circling promises that look impossible, but at the appointed moment, the sound of heaven will release your breakthrough. This is why heaven interrupts you now, to remind you not to give up, to keep you from confusing silence with absence, to tell you that the vision is alive, the promise is sure, and the pause is temporary. There is an image I want you to hold, a bowstring pulled back, stretched to the limit, quivering in tension. For a moment, nothing happens. Yet in that pause lies the power of release. When the arrow flies, it will fly with force that could never come without the stretch. That is your pause. That is your life right now, held in tension, ready to be released. And here is your prophetic act. In the comments, write this number, 222. This is not superstition. It is a declaration. The number 222 speaks of divine alignment and double confirmation. It symbolizes that heaven's order is being established in your life, that God is aligning promises with timing, and that your waiting is not in vain. By writing 222, you are saying, I choose to trust the appointed time. I align my heart with God's vision. I believe the pause is preparation. Understand this. When you align with heaven in the pause, you are proving the enemy wrong. The enemy wants you restless, impatient, ready to abandon your calling. But each moment you choose faith. Each second you stay. You are declaring victory even before the breakthrough comes. Chosen one, let the pause do its work. Let the silence shape your trust. Let the waiting deepen your roots. Because when the curtain lifts, when the trumpet sounds, when the arrow flies, everything will make sense. And when it happens, it will not be small. It will not be subtle. It will shock you with its suddenness. The pause will end. The vision will speak. And what God has promised will stand before your very eyes. Hold steady. The pause is almost over. You are closer than you realize. The long road behind you has been marked by trials, tears, and lessons carved deep into your soul. Yet now you stand at the edge of breakthrough. It may not look like it on the outside. Your circumstances may still resemble struggle, but in the unseen, the shift is already underway. Consider Joseph in the prison. Day after day, he woke to the same walls, the same shadows, the same unanswered questions. He had been faithful, yet forgotten, gifted, yet confined. To his eyes, nothing was changing. Yet, in one single night, everything turned, from prisoner to ruler, from overlooked to elevated. That is what breakthrough does. It often comes after the longest silence. Breakthrough is not always loud at first. Sometimes it whispers before it roars. It is the crack in the wall before it collapses, the faint light on the horizon before the sun rises. You may feel weary, wondering how much longer you can endure. But chosen ones have always lived closest to the edge of impossible, because it is there that God reveals his power most fully. Think of Israel standing before the Red Sea. Behind them, Pharaoh's army thundered closer. Before them, the sea stretched wide and impassable. They were hemmed in, trapped, with nowhere to turn. Yet it was in that very moment, the last possible second, that the waters split. Breakthrough often looks like a trap, before it becomes a miracle. We find in the Psalms of David, chapter 30, verse 5, "Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning." End of tree. This verse captures the rhythm of breakthrough. Night is real. The weeping is real. But so is the morning. And just as surely as night gives way to dawn, your season of sorrow is giving way to joy. What feels endless is actually temporary. And what feels delayed is already on heaven's calendar. Picture a woman in labor. The pain intensifies. Contractions grow closer. And every moment feels unbearable. Yet the pain is not a sign of death. It is the signal that new life is pressing its way into the world. The darkest hour of pressure often comes just before delivery. That's where you are. The pressure you feel is not destroying you. It is birthing something within you. Breakthrough is not simply escape. It is transformation. When God opens the way, you don't just leave bondage, you step into promise. When the walls fall, you don't just walk out, you walk in. Breakthrough is both an ending and a beginning. The prison doors closing behind Joseph marked not just his release, but his entrance into authority. The Red Sea closing over Pharaoh's army marked not just Israel's survival, but their new identity as a free people. You may look at your life and see only the prison walls, the sea, the pain of labor, but heaven sees the crown, the dry ground, the child about to be born. Breakthrough shifts the story from tragedy to testimony. Sometimes God waits until the very last moment, because it is there that faith reaches its sharpest edge. If he moved too soon, you might believe you saved yourself. If he waited too long, hope might wither completely. So he moves precisely in the in-between, where faith has no choice but to lean on him alone. Think of Peter in the storm, sinking beneath the waves. It was only when he cried out, "Lord, save me," that the hand of Jesus pulled him up. Breakthrough often comes when human strength is exhausted, when the only thing left is surrender. This is the paradox of being chosen. You will often stand on the cliff edge of despair, only to find that the ground beneath you holds firm. The breaking point becomes the breakthrough point. The end becomes the beginning. Do not despise the tension of this moment. The pressure, the waiting, the questions, they are all signs that you are standing one step away from release. Just as a door hinges on a single push, so too can your life swing into a new chapter with one move from heaven. Hold steady. Chosen one, you are closer than you think. The prison is about to unlock. The sea is about to part. The morning is about to break. And when it does, the years of struggle will be redefined by the glory of what comes next. And when the moment comes, it will not creep in quietly. It will arrive like dawn breaking after the longest night. Unmistakable and unstoppable. Your breakthrough will carry the weight of heaven's signature, undeniable to everyone watching. There is a holy weight to this moment. Hope is real, but so is warning. The mercy of God is wide, deeper than oceans, higher than skies, but even mercy has boundaries. There are times when God speaks softly, and times when he thunders with urgency, calling his chosen ones to return before it is too late. You may have felt his whispers before. In the middle of the night when sleep would not come, in the sudden conviction that pulled at your heart when you almost crossed a line, in the sharp awareness that what you were about to do was not his will. Those whispers were mercy. gently pulling you back. But what happens when mercy steps back? When conviction no longer tugs at your spirit, when rebellion no longer feels heavy? That is the danger for chosen ones, to confuse God's patience with God's permission, to keep stretching the line, thinking there will always be another chance. Yet the truth is, continual rebellion leads to blindness. The scriptures declare in the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6, "My people are destroyed from lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. I also reject you as my priests, because you have ignored the law of your God. I also will ignore your children." End quote. This is not spoken to unbelievers. It was spoken to God's people, those marked for covenant. The warning is sharp. Ignorance is not innocent when truth has already been revealed. Rejection of his ways does not leave us neutral. It leaves us vulnerable. For the chosen, the cost of disobedience is even greater, because your calling carries weight beyond yourself. Think of King Saul. He was anointed, chosen to lead Israel. Yet, his repeated disobedience cost him the kingdom. The crown that could have rested on his head for generations slipped away because he mistook mercy for leniency. His story is not written to frighten you, but to caution you. The higher the calling, the greater the responsibility. Mercy is a gift, not a guarantee. When the Spirit convicts you, it is heaven saying, "You are still within my reach." When your heart feels pierced by the word, it is God's love chasing you down. But if you continually silence that voice, if you continually push it away, one day the silence may remain. That is when mercy steps back, leaving you to the choices you insisted on. Picture a candle flickering in the wind. The flame bends, weakens, then steadies again. That is mercy, giving space for the flame to catch. But if the flame is continually smothered, eventually it goes out. The room remains dark, not because the candle was never lit, but because it was quenched. This is the warning chosen ones must hear. The battle is not only against external enemies, but against the drift of your own heart. Distraction can numb you. Compromise can harden you. Pride can blind you. And when those things go unchecked, mercy eventually gives way to judgment. Yet even here, the heart of God is not vengeance, but restoration. He warns because he loves. He disciplines because you are his. A parent who never corrects does not care. A shepherd who never calls the wandering sheep back is no shepherd at all. The sharpness of his warning is proof of his affection. Think of Israel again. Wandering in the wilderness, time and again, they tested God's patience. Manna fell. Water flowed from rocks. Yet they complained, rebelled, and turned to idols. Eventually, God declared that an entire generation would not enter the promised land. Mercy had made room, but rebellion had closed the door. This is why urgency matters. Every moment of conviction is a holy gift. Every time you feel that stirring inside, do not harden your heart. Respond quickly, because the day will come when delay will no longer be possible. There is a soberness to being chosen. It is both privilege and responsibility. To carry light means to be accountable for what you know. To walk in revelation means to walk carefully, because ignoring truth is more dangerous once it has been revealed. Chosen one. This is not to crush you with fear, but to awaken you. The edge you stand on is sharp. The invitation of mercy still extends toward you, but the decision is yours. Heaven cannot be mocked, and time will not wait forever. Let this warning sink in. Rebellion is one step away from blindness. Neglect is one step away from ruin. But obedience, even trembling, imperfect obedience, is one step away from breakthrough. The path is before you. Mercy has not left, but it will not wait endlessly. So, take this moment seriously. Do not despise the conviction you feel. Do not ignore the tug on your heart. These are not interruptions, they are lifelines. The God who chose you is still calling you. Do not let mercy step back without answering. There is something powerful that happens when a chosen one obeys. Obedience is not simply a response, it is a covenant. And when covenant is sealed, it is sealed not with ink, but with fire. Fire purifie. Fire marks. Fire seals. That is why the presence of God so often revealed itself in flame, because flame both consumes and protects. Think of Moses on Mount Sinai. The mountain trembled. Smoke rose like a furnace, and fire crowned the summit. Out of that fire, the covenant of the law was written. The people could not even touch the mountain. But Moses entered into the flame and carried down words that shaped nations. The fire was not just a spectacle, it was the seal of covenant. It was proclaimed in the days of Elijah and preserved in the book of Hebrew. Chapter 12, verse 29. For our God is a consuming fire. When God makes covenant with you, He does not write it in pencil that can fade. He engraves it with fire that no storm can erase. That fire does not only mark moments, it marks people. Once you are touched by it, you can never be the same. Look at Elijah on Mount Carmel. The altar was drenched with water, impossible to burn. Yet at the prophet's prayer, fire fell from heaven, consuming everything, even the stones. That moment was a covenant of fire. It was God's way of saying, I am still the Lord, and those who are mine will carry my flame. Ein, chosen one. When you obey, heaven responds with fire. It may not be fire you see with your eyes, but it will be fire that burns in your spirit, igniting courage where there was fear, holiness where there was compromise, passion where there was apathy. This fire is not for destruction, but for consecration. Picture a blacksmith placing iron into the forge. The fire does not destroy the metal, it strengthens it, makes it pliable, able to be shaped into a weapon of great worth. That is what God's fire does to you. It does not consume your destiny, it consumes what is hindering it. And here lies your part in the covenant, to step willingly into the flame. Just as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego walked into the furnace, you too may walk into moments of fire. But like them, you will discover that you are not alone. In the fire, the Son of God Himself stands with you. That is the secret of the covenant. The fire is never meant to destroy you, but to reveal Him with you. This is why you cannot treat obedience lightly. When you obey, you are stepping into covenant fire. When you yield, you are sealed. When you surrender, the flames that once seemed threatening become your covering. And now, chosen one, here is your act of declaration. In the comments, write these words: I carry fire. Then, not as poetry, but as truth. When you type it, you are declaring that you are not walking in cold religion, but in burning covenant. You are affirming that your obedience is not empty duty, but a living flame. You are saying, "The fire marks me, strengthens me, purifies me, and I will not live without it." Then, understand this: fire is not optional for the chosen. Without it, purpose grows cold, conviction weakens, passion dies. With it, your steps blaze a path that darkness cannot extinguish. That is why God does not simply give you a promise, He seals it in flame. Let your heart be encouraged by this. You are not walking in shallow waters. You are walking in covenant fire. It surrounds you. It shapes you. It will go before you into every battle. And though the enemy tries to quench it, he cannot, for the God who chose you is Himself the consuming fire. But let me take this deeper for you. Fire does not only mark moments of worship or victory, it also follows you into the ordinary places. Just as the pillar of fire led Israel through the desert by night, God's covenant fire is not confined to holy mountains. It walks with you into your workplace, into your family, into every space where your obedience shines. This means the fire is both identity and protection. Identity, because it distinguishes you. You are not like the rest. You are marked by flame. Protection, because where fire burns, darkness trembles. Just as moths cannot resist light, the enemy cannot ignore a life set ablaze by God's covenant. The fire repels what would destroy you and draws those who need the warmth of your testimony. So do not fear the furnace, and do not despise the flame, for in truth, the covenant of fire is not against you, it is for you. It is heaven's mark upon your life, declaring that you belong wholly to God and that no force of darkness can erase what has been sealed in flame. There are seasons when opposition has felt endless, when every step forward seemed to meet resistance, when doors closed faster than they opened, and yet, chosen one, you are standing here today. That alone is testimony that no weapon formed against you has prevailed. What the enemy designed for harm has already been overturned by the hand of God. Unstoppable favor is what marks the chosen. It is not earned through performance, nor sustained by human approval. It flows from covenant, from the unshakable decision of heaven to place its hand upon your life. You have walked through fire. You have endured storms. And now the season is shifting. The winds that fought, you will become the very winds that carry you. Consider Paul, shipwrecked and bitten by a viper on the island of Malta. Those watching expected him to die, but when he shook off the snake and remained unharmed, they recognized that the favor of God was on him. Favor does not mean absence of attack, it means survival beyond explanation. According to the writings of Paul to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 9, we are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, not abandoned, struck down, not destroyed. This is the paradox of chosen ones, pressed, yet preserved, struck, yet still standing. Your life is the echo of this verse. You are the living contradiction that proves heaven's favor. Others have gone through less and broken completely, but you endured because favor held you together. Picture a river flowing around rocks. No matter how many obstacles try to block its path, the water finds a way. It bends. It shifts. It carves new channels. That is unstoppable favor. It does not stop when opposed. It simply makes another way. Favor is not fragile, it is fierce. It opens doors no man can shut, and it shuts doors that would destroy you. It aligns you with opportunities you never applied for, connections you never sought, blessings you never expected. And when it comes, no jealousy, no scheme, no weapon can cancel it. Think of Joseph again, standing before Pharaoh. In one moment, he was a prisoner with no advocate. In the next, he was second in command of Egypt. Favor turned years of obscurity into a sudden unveiling. That is what God is about to do in your life. The acceleration of years in a single moment. But favor is never for you alone. It flows through you. Joseph's favor preserved the nations. Esther's favor saved her people. Daniel's favor brought glory to God in a pagan empire. Your favor will ripple beyond your own life, blessing those connected to you, shifting atmospheres where you walk. And now, chosen one, let me extend an invitation, not a command. Imagine yourself in a cathedral, sunlight streaming through stained glass, colors spilling across the floor. You see a candle at the altar, waiting to be lit. No one forces you forward. No one pushes your hand. But something within draws you to take the match and touch flame to wick. That simple choice fills the room with light. That is what your response here can be. When you press like, think of it as lighting that candle, a small, quiet flame that says, "Yes, I receive this light." When you share, imagine scattering seeds into a field. You may not see the harvest yet, but someone else will eat of its fruit. When you subscribe, see it as stepping into a flowing river, not standing on the shore, but choosing to remain where the current of God's word moves freely. No one can compel you to do these things. They are not duties, but choices, acts of beauty, not burden. And like every act of obedience, they ripple further than you realize. Just as one lit candle can ignite 1,000 others, your small act can set into motion something eternal. Unstoppable favor is already resting on your life. And as you move with it, not striving, not forcing, but simply aligning, you will discover that the very things that once resisted you are now bending to carry you forward. You are marked, you are sealed, and you are favored beyond explanation. And when favor moves, it does not tiptoe into your life, it floods. What once felt like a trickle will become a river, washing over dry ground, reviving what you thought could never live again. So lift your head, chosen one. The season of striving is over. The crown does not wobble on your head, it rests secure. Walk forward with confidence, because unstoppable favor is not coming. Someday it is already here, wrapping itself around your steps. There are tears that no one has seen, tears shed in silence when the weight of life pressed too heavily. For chosen ones, those tears have never been wasted. Each one has been counted, treasured, and planted like seeds in the soil of eternity. They may have fallen unnoticed on earth, but heaven has stored them in its record. Think of Hannah in the temple, her lips moving, but her voice unheard, misunderstood by Eli, ridiculed by those around her. She poured out her heart in anguish, yet in that silent prayer, in those hidden tears, God was at work. Samuel, the prophet who would anoint kings and shape the destiny of Israel, was the harvest of Hannah's tears. Your tears, too, are carrying a harvest you cannot yet see. We are reminded in the Psalms of David, chapter 56, verse 8, "You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book." Lack. This imagery is profound. God does not overlook sorrow. He collects it. He keeps it safe. Each drop of pain, each sigh in the night, becomes a record of your endurance and a seed for your future. What the world dismisses as weakness, heaven regards as investment. Tears are not only signs of grief, they are also signs of life. A barren field does not produce water, but when rain falls, the soil softens and seeds awaken. In the same way, tears soften the soil of the heart. They break down walls of pride, water seeds of faith, and prepare the ground for fruitfulness. Think of David weeping in the wilderness, hunted by Saul, uncertain of his future. In those caves, tears turned into psalms, songs that have endured for centuries, songs that comfort countless souls today. What was born in his brokenness became eternal encouragement. Your tears may feel like they end in silence, but they are birthing words, promises, and testimonies that will echo far beyond your lifetime. Sometimes, chosen ones mistake tears for defeat. You may look at yourself and think, "If I were truly strong, I wouldn't cry like this." But strength is not the absence of tears. It is the decision to keep moving while tears fall. Even Jesus, standing at the tomb of Lazarus, wept. His tears were not weakness, they were compassion. They revealed his humanity and his love. If the Son of God himself could cry, then your tears are not shame, they are sacred. Picture a farmer walking into a barren field with a pouch of seed. He presses each seed into the soil with care. Even though the ground looks empty, he knows the rain will come, the sun will rise, and in due season, what was hidden will spring up. Your tears are those seeds. You may not see the growth yet, but heaven promises that the harvest is sure. This is why you must not despise your seasons of sorrow. They are not the end of your story. They are preparation for joy. Weeping may endure for the night, but morning always comes. And when the harvest arrives, the tears you cried will be remembered as the water that made it possible. Think of Joseph again. Before the palace, there was the pit. Before the dream was fulfilled, there were years of loss. Surely, Joseph wept in prison, forgotten and forsaken. Yet those tears were not wasted. They became part of the soil from which his testimony grew. And when he finally saw his brothers bow before him, his words were not bitter. What you intended for harm, God intended for good. Chosen one, understand this. Your tears are holy. They have been gathered into God's bottle, and they will be poured back into your future as blessing. The very things that broke you will bloom into beauty. The nights of anguish will be redeemed as mornings of joy. The field watered with sorrow will bear fruit in abundance. So do not be ashamed of your tears. Do not hide them as though they are weakness. See them for what they truly are, seeds of destiny. Every cry has a purpose. Every sigh has weight. And one day, you will look back and realize that your tears were never wasted. They were planting a future beyond anything you imagined. And when that day comes, every hidden sorrow will shine as testimony. You will see how heaven turned fragile drops into rivers of blessing, flowing far beyond your own life. The harvest will not only comfort you, it will nourish others. What once felt like breaking will be remembered as the moment God was planting greatness within you. There are moments when heaven opens a window, and suddenly what was closed begins to shift. Right now is one of those moments. You can sense it like the still air before the storm breaks, or the silence before a choir begins to sing. This is not ordinary time. This is appointed time, chosen one. Listen carefully. You have prayed, waited, endured. You have asked when the breakthrough would come, and now heaven whispers, receive. Not in the future, not in another lifetime here. In this moment, the shift is not distant, it is drawing near to your very doorstep. The sacred scroll of Proverbs declares, chapter 10, verse 22, "The blessing of the Lord brings wealth, without painful toil for it." Oh, this verse is not only about material abundance, it is about the favor that rests on chosen ones. It is about walking in a rhythm where doors open without striving, where peace flows without force, where joy blooms without explanation. It is about the inheritance of those who trust Him. Picture the rain again. When clouds finally release their burden, the ground soaks it up, and what was once cracked and barren becomes alive. Seeds long buried awaken. Flowers hidden beneath soil break through. That is what happens when you receive. It is not about forcing, it is about allowing. The blessing is already forming. Your role is to open your hands. Think of Peter when Jesus told him to cast his net after a night of catching nothing. Peter could have argued. He could have resisted. Yet, when he obeyed, his net nearly broke with the weight of the catch. The fish were already there. The breakthrough was already prepared. All Peter had to do was receive it. Your story is no different. You have worked, prayed, struggled, but now comes the season where what you could not produce on your own arrives by grace. This is the difference between toil and blessing. Toile drain. Blessing flows. Toil leaves empty. Blessing overflows. Receiving is an act of faith. It requires humility to admit you cannot do everything yourself. It requires trust to step into waters you cannot control. But in that surrender lies the miracle. You are not striving to earn, you are opening to inherit. Think of Ruth, gleaning in the fields of Boaz. She did not plan her own provision. She only positioned herself, and in that field, God's hand aligned her with favor that changed her entire story. Your field may feel ordinary, but when God's blessing touches it, everything shifts. And now, chosen one, heaven extends a prophetic invitation to you. As a sign of agreement, write this number in the comments, 888. Do not see it as random digits, but as declaration. The number 888 represents new beginnings, overflowing grace, and divine renewal. It is the echo of resurrection, the rhythm of eternity, the sign that cycles of toil are ending and cycles of abundance are opening. When you type it, you are not just engaging with words, you are aligning with heaven's timing, saying, I receive what is mine in this season. Let this image stay with you, a key turning in a lock. For years the door stood closed. You rattled it, knocked on it, even tried to break it down. But now, the right key is in your hand. With one simple turn, the door swings wide. That is what receive means. It is the opening of what was locked. Do not underestimate this moment. The prophetic pause was about preparation. The waiting was about shaping. The fire was about refining. And now, the blessing is about to be poured out. Heaven is not stingy. Heaven is abundant. The blessing of the Lord is not partial. It is complete, overflowing, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Chosen one. Prepare yourself. Position your heart. This is not the time to hold back, to question whether you are worthy. Blessing was never about worthiness. It was about covenant. And because you are chosen, you are covered. Because you are marked, you are sealed. And because you are sealed, you will receive. So let it sink in. Your tears have been seen. Your obedience noted. Your waiting measured. And now, the season of receiving is here. You are stepping into a flow of blessing that toil could never produce. A river of favor that will carry you further than effort ever could. Receive it. Believe it. Walk in it. The heavens are open, and the blessing is yours. And when it pours, chosen one, no hand can stop it. What is released over you will overflow boundaries, touching lives around you. Proving heaven's covenant stands unshaken. There are moments in the journey of the chosen when God does not simply bless you in silence, He blesses you openly, not to shame others, but to reveal His faithfulness. Your life is not only about your private walk with Him, it is also a living testimony to those who doubted, misunderstood, or opposed you. The sacred scroll of Proverbs declares, chapter 11, verse 21, "Be sure of this, the wicked will not go unpunished, but those who are righteous will go free." End quote. This is the truth of vindication. God is not careless with justice. He may allow opposition for a season. He may allow misunderstanding to shape you, but He will not allow the righteous to remain trampled. In His time, He lifts you in such a way that even your enemies must acknowledge His hand. Think of Joseph again, standing in the court of Pharaoh. The very brothers who sold him into slavery would later bow before him, not because Joseph demanded revenge, but because God orchestrated the story so that the one they despised became the one they needed. Joseph wept, not with bitterness, but with compassion. His vindication was not about pride, it was about purpose. Vindication is not always about words. Sometimes it is about silence. While critics speak, while enemies plot, God works behind the scenes. Then, suddenly, the blessing bursts forth. Undeniable. No defense you could give would be as strong as the evidence of God's favor. Picture a banquet table. Plates gleam, cups overflow, and the aroma of abundance fills the air. Around the edges, those who once mocked stand in silence. They cannot deny what they see. The psalmist captured this when he wrote, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." The chosen do not need to fight for recognition. Their table is set by God Himself. And sometimes, the deepest vindication is not material. It is peace. Peace when others expected you to collapse. Joy when others thought you would break. Endurance when others believed you had nothing left. These intangible victories shout louder than any wealth could. They are the evidence that God has been your anchor. Think of Daniel again. Falsely accused, thrown into the lion's den. His enemies gathered eagerly to watch his destruction. Yet by morning, Daniel walked out, untouched, while those who plotted against him fell into the very pit they prepared. Vindication is often reversal. The trap set for you becomes the downfall of your accusers. But take care. Chosen one. Vindication is not given to fuel bitterness. It is not your weapon for revenge. It is God's way of proving that His hand has never left you. If you clutch it with pride, itsua. If you hold it with humility, it shines. The table is not set for gloating, it is set for testimony. There is a reason enemies are allowed to witness it. They are not there to applaud you, they are there to see God. The blessing you carry points beyond yourself. It points to the one who lifts the humble and scatters the proud. Your elevation becomes revelation. Imagine a tree planted beside still waters. In its early years, no one notices. Its roots dig silently, unseen. But in time, branches spread wide. Fruit appears. Shade covers the weary. Birds come to nest. Travelers to rest. Those who once dismissed the small sapling cannot ignore the flourishing tree. So it is with your life. Vindication takes time. But when it arrives, it is undeniable. Chosen one. Remember, you are not vindicated because you are flawless, but because you are faithful. You are not lifted because you demanded it, but because you endured. God delights in showing Himself strong through the weak, in raising up the overlooked, in crowning those who walked humbly through the storm. So hold your peace. You do not need to fight every accusation, to answer every critic, to defend every misunderstanding. Let God speak for you. Let your life become the evidence. For soon, those who questioned you will be silent before the story He has written through you. And when they see it, when they cannot deny it, even they will know the hand of the Lord has done this. And when the day comes, you will not need to speak. The fruit will speak. The crown will gleam. The peace on your face will testify louder than words. Vindication is not a shout. It is a steady flame. What was once ridiculed will become radiant, and those who doubted will be forced to whisper, "Surely, the hand of God rests upon this one." The wilderness has always been a teacher for the chosen ones. It is never a detour, though it feels like exile. It is the place where identity is forged, where faith is tested, where silence becomes instruction. Yet every wilderness has an end, and every path of wandering eventually leads to a throne. Think of David. Before the crown rested on his head, the caves of Adullam became his home. The man after God's heart lived hunted, hidden, surrounded by outcasts. To the world, it looked like failure, but the caves were classrooms. They trained him to lead not by arrogance, but by humility. They taught him to trust not in weapons, but in worship. And when the day finally came for Samuel's anointing to be fulfilled, David did not arrive unprepared. He arrived refined by wilderness fire. We read in the Wisdom of Solomon, in Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." Oh, this is the rhythm of God's dealings with His chosen. There is a time to wander, and a time to reign, a time to be hidden, and a time to be revealed. The throne is never reached without wilderness, for the wilderness burns away what cannot enter the palace. Consider Moses. For 40 years he led sheep across barren ground. He was raised in Pharaoh's palace, trained in knowledge. But it was the wilderness that trained his spirit. There he learned solitude. There he learned to hear the voice from the burning bush. And from the wilderness, he was sent back to confront kings. Your wilderness may have lasted longer than you imagined. It may feel like a place without end. You look around and see nothing but dry ground. Prayers unanswered. Doors unopened. Yet heaven sees what you cannot, the throne that waits on the other side. The wilderness was not meant to break you. It was meant to prepare you. Picture a traveler in a desert. Each step feels heavy. Each horizon looks endless. But hidden beneath the sand lies a path, unseen until the traveler reaches the right moment. The wilderness always contains the road to the throne, but it is revealed only to those who endure. Even Jesus walked this road. Before his ministry began, he was led into the wilderness for 40 days. There he faced hunger, temptation, and the voice of the enemy. But the wilderness was not the end, it was the threshold. Out of it, he stepped into authority, miracles, and proclamation of the kingdom. The throne is not simply a chair of honor, it is a position of responsibility. The wilderness ensures that when you arrive, you do not crumble under the weight of it. Without the caves, David might have ruled like Saul. Without the desert, Moses might have led like Pharaoh. Without the wilderness, even Jesus would not have been tested as the second Adam. Think of your wilderness as a refining fire. Each loss stripped away pride. Each unanswered prayer deepened trust. Each delay taught patience. The throne you are approaching will not be built on ambition, but on surrender. It will not be sustained by talent, but by faith. There is beauty in remembering that even the throne is not the final destination. David's kingship pointed beyond himself to the throne of Christ. Moses' leadership pointed to the deliverer greater than him. Your throne, too, is not for self-exaltation, it is for service. Authority is not given to inflate you, but to lift others. So do not despise your wilderness. Do not curse the caves, the deserts, the long nights. They are the very soil from which your throne is rising. One day, you will look back and see that the wilderness was not wasted. It was the proving ground of destiny. And when you step into your throne season, it will not be sudden chaos. It will be the natural unfolding of what God has been weaving all along. The shift may look instant to others, but you will know it has been years in the making. You will sit, not as a stranger to struggle, but as one who carries scars that prove survival. The wilderness is ending. The throne is near. Stand firm. Chosen one. For the crown that waited will soon rest upon you. And when you finally sit in that place of promise, you will not sit as one who rushed, but as one who was refined. Every scar will speak. Every cave will shine with meaning. The throne will not be proof of your greatness, but proof of God's faithfulness. And as you rise, others who once walked through their own wilderness will find hope in your story, realizing that their season of wandering also carries a crown at the end. There are moments in history when individuals rise, and there are moments when whole generations awaken. This is one of those moments. Chosen one. You are not standing alone. Across the earth, the marked ones are rising, some from obscurity, some from brokenness, some from wilderness, some from silence, but all carrying a fire that cannot be hidden. The prophet Nahum spoke of this vision. Chapter 1, verse 15. Look, there on the mountains, the feet of one bringing good news, who proclaims peace. Celebrate. Judah, fulfill your vows. No more will the wicked invade you. This is the foundation of the remnant's rise. They are not marked by fame, but by trust. They are not known for perfection, but for perseverance. And as the world trembles, they stand not because of strength within themselves, but because of the refuge of their God. Imagine a battlefield in the dawn light. The night has been long, the air heavy with silence. Then suddenly, figures begin to move, one after another, rising from shadows with armor that gleams in the first rays of the sun. They are not many compared to the armies of the world, but their presence shifts the atmosphere. That is what it means when the marked ones rise. For years, they were unseen. They prayed in secret, carried burdens silently, endured ridicule without applause. But in hidden places, they were being prepared. Now, the time of unveiling is near, and what was hidden in caves is emerging onto mountains. You may have felt like your story was too small, your impact too insignificant. Yet the rising remnant proves otherwise. Every prayer whispered in silence becomes part of a chorus. Every step of obedience, though unseen, strengthens the march. Alone, your light may seem fragile. Together, it becomes a blaze that terrifies darkness. Picture fireflies in a summer field. One light flickers, then another, until suddenly the whole meadow glows. That is how the marked ones shine. Scattered, yet connected. Ordinary, yet extraordinary. When gathered, this is why your rising matters. Because your flame adds to the flame of countless others. And together, they cannot be extinguished. The remnant is not defined by numbers, but by devotion. They are those who choose faith over fear, surrender over compromise, purpose over comfort. And as they rise, they carry crowns not of human design, but of heaven's decree. Chosen one, you are part of this story. You may not feel ready, but you are marked. You may not feel strong, but you are chosen. The very struggles you endured were the same fires that marked you for this moment. And as you step into your calling, you are joining an army of light rising across nations. And now, let me place before you not a demand, but an invitation. Imagine standing at the edge of a quiet lake. You hold a stone in your hand. No one tells you what to do with it. Yet something within urges you to release it. You throw the stone, and ripples spread across the water, far beyond the point of impact. That is what your response here can be. When you press like, think of it as casting your stone into the water, a simple act that creates ripples of light reaching others unseen. When you share, see it as lifting a torch in the night. Someone far away may catch sight of it and find the courage to rise. When you subscribe, imagine it as planting your roots deeper into fertile soil, choosing to remain in the flow where your spirit continues to be nourished. And finally, when you comment on this word, think of it as adding your voice to the chorus of rising ones. Each word you leave is like a banner lifted high, declaring that you, too, are part of the remnant. God is awakening. None of these acts are forced. They are invitations, gentle and holy, like the choice of a worshipper to kneel, like the decision of a singer to join the song. They are voluntary, beautiful, eternal. The marked ones are rising, chosen one, and you are among them, together, like countless flames, like countless ripples, like countless voice. They are announcing to the world that the season of silence is over. And when their voices rise together, the sound will be unlike anything the world has heard, a chorus not of noise, but of purpose. The marked ones do not rise for fame, but for glory greater than themselves. Their light will pierce valleys, their fire will ignite cities, and their testimony will ripple through generations. You are part of this living prophecy, proof that heaven is gathering its chosen to shine in the darkest hour. Glory is not a distant reward waiting at the end of your journey. It is the radiance of God revealed through your life even now, in the midst of battles and victories alike. For the chosen ones, glory is not about being exalted above others. It is about reflecting the one who called you. As recorded in the book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 10, in bringing many sons and daughters to glory, it was fitting that God, through whom all exists, made salvation perfect through suffering. This is the great mystery. Glory and suffering are not opposites. They are companions. The path of the chosen is not an escape from hardship, but the transformation of hardship into a vessel for divine light. Just as gold shines only after passing through fire, so glory emerges from the very places where you once felt crushed. Consider Paul and Silas in the Philippian prison. Their bodies were bruised, their feet chained. Yet at midnight their songs rose higher than the walls around them. The glory of God did not wait until they were free. It filled the cell while they were still bound, and the earth shook. The doors opened, and chains fell. Glory was revealed not in the absence of chains, but in the breaking of them. Glory is weight, not glitter. It is the tangible presence of God that rests upon a person, turning ordinary moments into eternal testimony. You may not see it in yourself, but others do. They notice the peace you carry in chaos, the strength you show when others collapse, the kindness you extend even when you are wounded. That is glory, not your own, but His radiance shining through you. Picture a lighthouse battered by storms. Waves crash against it. Winds scream around it. Yet its light does not flicker. Ships in the distance steer safely because of its steadfast glow. That is what the glory of God looks like in your life. It is not fragile. It is unshakable. It is not loud. Yet it cannot be hidden. Chosen one. Your story has always been about more than survival. It has been about revelation. Every scar on your soul tells of endurance. Every healed wound radiates the faithfulness of God. The crown that waits for you is not polished by human hands. It is forged by trials overcome. Glory is not only your destination, it is already emanating from your journey. Think of Moses descending Mount Sinai. His face shone so brightly from being in God's presence that the people could not look at him without a veil. He did not seek that glow. It came as the natural result of intimacy. The same is true for you. Time spent in hidden places with God leaves a mark no wilderness can erase. Glory is also contagious. When you walk in it, others catch it. When you carry it, atmospheres shift. Darkness cannot remain in the presence of glory. That is why the enemy has fought so hard to dim your light, because once it shines unhindered, it cannot be ignored. Imagine a diamond set in a crown. At first glance, it may look like just another stone, but under light, it refracts brilliance in every direction. Your life may look ordinary to some, but under the light of God's glory, you become a prism of His beauty, scattering hope in directions you will never fully see. This is the legacy of the chosen, to be vessels of glory in a world desperate for light, not to exalt yourself, but to lift the gaze of others to the one who never fails. The wilderness shaped you, the fire refined you, but glory is what now radiates from you. So stand tall, chosen one. Do not shrink back as if you are unworthy. The glory on your life is not of your making, it is the inheritance of being His. You were not chosen to hide forever. You were chosen to shine. And soon, the world will see not just what you endured, but the glory that has been revealed in you. And when glory is revealed, it will not whisper, it will blaze. The chains that once bound you will testify that they could not hold. The deserts you crossed will sparkle with the evidence of purpose fulfilled. Others will see your light and call it extraordinary. But you will know it was born in the ordinary moments of surrender, tears, and faith. Glory will not point to you. It will point through you to the God who chose you, shaped you, and set you apart for such a time as this. There comes a moment when every step, every trial, every hidden season converges into clarity. That moment is not just arrival, it is coronation. Chosen one. You have walked through valleys, carried crosses, endured fires, and stood in silence. Now heaven declares, you are crowned with destiny. The Gospel of John preserves these words of Jesus. Chapter 15, verse 16. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last, and so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. Infren, this is the essence of your calling. You were not an accident, not a random soul tossed into existence. You were chosen, appointed, crowned for a life that bears fruit, which remains long after you. The crown you receive is not for vanity, it is for legacy. It is a sign that you have endured, and now you will carry authority for generations to come. Think of Esther, the orphan girl raised in obscurity. One day, a crown rested on her head, and with it came the authority to save her people. Her coronation was not about jewels or robes, it was about responsibility. The crown meant she was positioned for purpose. So too with you. The authority God places on your life is not for display, it is for deliverance. Consider Paul, writing from prison, yet speaking with authority, kings could not silence. His crown was not made of gold, but of faith, unbroken. He understood that destiny is not measured by applause, but by obedience. To be crowned is to be entrusted with the weight of influence that echoes in eternity. Picture a runner crossing the finish line after a marathon. Muscles sèchent, lungs burn. Every fiber screams with exhaustion, but the crown of victory erases the memory of pain. That is what destiny does. It makes sense of the struggle. It redeems the wilderness. It reframes the fire. It transforms scars into symbols of triumph. Chosen one. The crown is not just for your head, it is for your heart. It is the quiet confidence that you are sealed, that you belong, that you were created for such a time as this. When others look at you, they may see survival, but heaven sees sovereignty resting upon you. The throne you step into may not look like a palace. It may be the influence you carry in your family, the hope you ignite in your community, the example you set for generations watching. The crown is not always visible, but it is always real. It rests on your life whenever you walk in alignment with the one who chose you. Imagine a torch lit in a dark cave. As you lift it high, shadows scatter, paths appear, and others find courage to keep walking. That is your destiny. Your crown is not the end of the story, it is the beginning of legacy. Through you, others will find light. Through you, others will remember that chosen ones never walk in vain. Every tear, every prayer, every silent night, it has all been woven into this coronation. You are not crowned because you never stumbled, but because you rose again. You are not crowned because you were flawless, but because you were faithful. And faithfulness has always been heaven's greatest jewel. Chosen one. Lift your head. The journey has led you here. The crown does not wobble in uncertainty. It rests securely, placed by hands that never miss their mark. You are not forgotten, not abandoned, not overlooked. You are crowned with destiny, and that crown will shine beyond your lifetime. And when you wear the crown of destiny, it will not be heavy with pride, but with peace. You will find that what once felt impossible now flows with ease, because the authority of heaven is resting on you. Your scars will shine like jewels set into the crown. They will remind you of nights you almost gave up, battles you thought you lost, prayers you feared were unheard. Yet here you stand, crowned not in spite of them, but because of them, proof that God can turn ashes into beauty. And as you walk forward, your crown will not only mark you, it will guide others. They will see the glow of destiny upon you and realize that their journey too carries purpose. Your crown becomes an invitation, a living testimony that every wilderness leads somewhere. Every fire refines. Every tear waters a harvest. You are not just crowned for yourself, you are crowned for those who will follow. And so the journey comes to its closing chapter, 17 sections, 17 revelations, 17 ways heaven has whispered to you that you are not forgotten, you are chosen. You have walked through wildernesses, stood in fire, endured battles, and pressed through silence. And now you stand crowned with destiny, carrying glory that was forged in the hidden places of your life. But this is not the end, it is the beginning. Every crown is not just a reward, it is an assignment. Every mark on your life is not just for your comfort, it is for the generations who will look to you and say, if they endured, so can I. If they rose, so can I. If they carried light, so can I. Then, imagine a single flame carried carefully in cupped hands. You could hide it away and protect it for yourself. Or, you could lift it high, let it touch another wick, and watch the room fill with fire. That is what happens when you share what God has given you. The light multiplies. So here is the invitation, not a command, but an act of beauty. When you press like, think of it as lifting your flame to join the countless others. When you share, imagine scattering sparks into the night, sparks that will become torches in someone else's darkness. When you subscribe, see it as stepping into a great procession, choosing to walk with others who carry the same fire. And when you comment below, let it be your voice in the choir of chosen ones rising together. You are not just one story. You are part of a chorus, a movement, a remnant carrying glory into the world. The crown rests on your head. The fire burns in your heart. And your destiny shines before you. Now, rise, and let the world see the light of the chosen,